Today's video is inspired by South Carolina. Today I'm going to be using the Ninja Woodfire Smoker Grill to make some baby back ribs. I like using this grill because it's electric and I don't have to worry about using propane gas. This grill is good to use for Father's Day or any backyard barbecue cookout. So I bought these baby back ribs because they look like they will be easier to cook on the grill as opposed to the larger cuts of ribs like St. Louis style or spare ribs. And the price was right. I'm all about the savings. They were only $10.66 at Walmart. I'm going to use my Thanksgiving tray because this is the only tray that I have that will fit these ribs on it. All right, so let me flip these ribs over so we can talk about the membrane. The membrane is a fatty layer of skin. I know some people like to remove it. I've seen some people cut the membrane off like they're performing surgery. I like to call it barbecue liposuction. As you can see on the back of these ribs, it has a very thin membrane layer, so I'm not going to mess with it. But it's up to you if you want to remove the membrane or not. Okay, next we have to cut this rack of ribs in half because it won't fit into the grill as is. All right, so I'm going to cut these ribs down the middle. I'm going to use these poultry butcher kitchen shears. I know that one side came out bigger than the other side, but that's fine. These shears are helpful. I'll leave the Amazon link down in the description box below. It also comes with a bottle cap opener on the edge of the handle, which makes it convenient. So I'm only going to cook one slab of ribs today, and I'm going to cook the other slab of ribs on a different day. Okay, now, so let's talk about barbecue rubs. I was going to use the Three Little Pigs barbecue rub seasoning, but there's only a little bit left. So I'm going to try this rib rack barbecue rub seasoning. It does have a little bit of sugar in it. It's not going to burn because I'm going to cook the ribs at a low temperature. Make sure you season your ribs thoroughly. Get the sides and the edges and then flip it over on the other side. I usually like to make sure I pat the seasoning into the meat. Okay, so I'm going to use this wireless meat thermometer. It connects to this Bluetooth base that connects to an app on your phone. It's called the Temp Spike, and I'll also leave the information in the description box below. I stuck the thermometer in on the thicker side of the ribs. All right, so now the ribs are ready to go onto the grill. I'm also going to put some corn on the cob on the grill. My optional level up ingredient is going to be, I can't believe it's not butter. I'm just going to spray some on the corn. I've never been a big vegetable eater, so I'm trying to find interesting ways to eat more vegetables. I'm going to see if I like smoked corn on the cob. Now I just have to spray the other side. All right, so now I'm ready to go to the grill. So these are the wood pellets that came with the grill. It gives the food a mild smoky flavor. So this is the pellet hopper smoke box. You have to open it up to pour 1 cup of wood fire pellets. I'm trying to pour it slowly so I don't spill any pellets. Okay, so that's good enough. This video is part of my grilling and chilling series. In a previous video, I showed you how to use the air crisp setting, the grill setting, and now I'm going to show you how to use the smoker setting. So I'm just going to turn the dial onto the smoker setting. Okay, so for the smoker setting, you don't have to press the Woodfire Flavor Technology button. But you do have to press the button for all of the other settings if you want smoke. I just call it the smoke button. The grill automatically assumes that you want smoke if you have it on the smoker setting. Okay, so for the temperature, I'm going to leave it set to 250 degrees. But I'm going to set the time for 2 hours. It's going to take less than 2 hours to cook these ribs, but I'll set the time for 2 hours for demonstration purposes. So now I'm going to hit the start button and you're going to hear the Ninja jingle. You can't turn the volume down on the jingle. IGN stands for ignite. Now this is the ignition phase. Just so you know, when you're using the smoker setting, it's not going to tell you when to add the food, like it'll tell you when to add the food on all of the other settings. So I'm just going to put the food on the grill in about 10 minutes. Alright, so now I got the food on the grill and I'm going to rotate the corn in about 7 minutes. See all of the smoke? So I'm just going to flip over the corn on the cob pieces and I'm going to let them cook for about another 7 minutes. It only takes 14 minutes total to cook corn on the grill. Now the corn is done, so I'm going to take the corn off of the grill and I'm going to let the meat continue to cook. I'm going to check on the ribs in about 45 minutes. So this is what the wireless thermometer app looks like on your phone. So it's telling me that the current internal temperature for the ribs is 100 degrees. So I set the target temperature to 205 degrees. That's when the app is going to start beeping to let me know to take the ribs off of the grill. And the current temperature of the grill is now at 246 degrees. Here you can see the wireless Bluetooth light flashing. Here is the Ninja Woodfire recipe book guide. Now I know it's been getting a lot of mixed reviews, but I want to check out the book for myself. I'm basically going to follow these instructions in the book. On this page, you'll see recipes for regional barbecue spice rubs and sauces. It has a recipe for Alabama style sauce, which is basically mayonnaise based. Then there's North Carolina style, which is vinegar based. And then there's Carolina Gold style, which is mustard based. I'm going to make the South Carolina Gold sauce, but I'm going to eliminate some of the ingredients that the book says to use, like soy sauce. I'm going to start off with using a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to watch more sightseeing savings tips, recipes, and tricks. Next, I'm going to add in some Worcestershire sauce. I know that can be hard to pronounce. That's the way that Google says to pronounce it. So I'm only going to put in 1 tablespoon. Next, I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of honey. So this sauce is going to taste sweet and tangy with a little bit of a kick. Add in 1 cup of mustard. I use a spoon to make sure that I scrape everything out. Then I add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. One teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm not going to use any paprika because of the rub that I already put on the ribs has paprika in it. This is a no-cook barbecue recipe sauce, so all you have to do is just stir it up until the lumps are dissolved. Let me know in the comments below which type of regional barbecue sauces that you like to use. This is the texture that you want the sauce to be. And I'm just going to put this aside for now. Now the ribs have been cooking for a whole hour. You don't see as much smoke because the pellets only last for about an hour. So now I'm going to flip the ribs over. Now it's time to grab the homemade barbecue sauce. So now I'm going to start to put the sauce on the ribs. I'm just going to let the barbecue sauce cook for 10 minutes on this side. It's been 10 minutes, so now I'm going to flip the ribs over and put some sauce on the other side. I don't know about you, but I like a lot of sauce on my ribs. These ribs should be done cooking in about another 10 to 15 minutes. Just so you know, the more you open up your grill, the more heat you're going to lose. So your temperature on your grill might start dropping. As you can see, after an hour, there's no more smoldering smoke coming from the pellets. The beeping noise is coming from the app. It's telling me that the food has reached the desired temperature. You can turn the alarm sound off, or you can just put it on vibrate so you'll know when your food is done. Okay, so now the ribs are done. Looks good. Let's see how they taste. So now I'm just going to get a pan and submerge these ribs in the barbecue sauce. I'm just going to add one more layer of barbecue sauce on the ribs. I have to make sure I coat the sides. I'm just going to let these ribs chillax for about 10 minutes before I cut into them. In regards to the corn, I don't like it smoked. It tastes too bitter to me. But some people might like it like that. The other day I made a different batch of corn with less smoke. It tastes much better to me. I was able to taste the sweetness of the corn, but still able to taste the grilled texture. Now, in regards to the ribs, you can cut the ribs in single portions like I did the other day. Or you can just cut them in multiple portions. It's up to you how you want to cut them. I prefer to eat the single portions. Just so you know, there's no smoke ring, which is fine for me because I like to cover my ribs in sauce, so I probably wouldn't even see the ring anyway. These ribs really look good. These ribs have a good amount of meat on the bones. All right, so now let me taste one of these single ribs. Okay, I taste the smoky flavor, and it's not overpowering. The ribs are nice and tender. It's thoroughly cooked. See? All gone. All the way down to the bone. So this is how I clean the grill plate. I use Dawn Platinum Power Wash. I spray it on and I leave it like that for about an hour. It's easier to use a brush because a brush can get in between the grooves. Hopefully this video will give you some ideas. Okay, and now it's time for me to finish eating my food. Thanks for watching.